Okay, so once again, good evening, namaskar, and Hare Krishna to all of you. Thanks for sparing your really precious time this evening. And today is a very auspicious day, auspicious occasion for all of us because it's an Ekadashi, and it's more special, auspicious occasion of Ekadashi because it is Pandava Nirjal Ekadashi. And okay. I'm just getting confused between where to see because I'm actually operating from the mobile, and then at the same time I'm showing the slides on the laptop. So we, on this auspicious day, we seek the blessings of Lord Krishna so that may this timeless Vani of Bhagavad Gita be very rightly, understood through the Acharya's purport for our upliftment of our consciousness. Ultimately, we all want to uplift our consciousness from material consciousness to spiritual consciousness. So nice to see so many smiling faces. And with this, we formally raise the uh, curtain of this particular. One second. Here you go. So the curtain is raised today, the 7th June, and we are going to embark upon this journey of studying Bhagavad Gita in a very systematic way. And today it's going to be the curtain raiser, and the actual sessions will start from 14th, that is next Saturday. And as you can see on the slide, there are going to be two speakers. One of them is myself. I am C.R. Sheshadri, and also known as Shyam Chandra Das in spiritual circle. And my co-speaker for this entire study is going to be Sri Shyam Sundar Rao, and his spiritual name is Sakshi Mohan Das. Somewhere towards the end, we both will introduce ourselves a little bit more in detail. But right now, we will embark upon what are the objectives of today's session, and we move forward with that. So as you can see, we have aptly named this group and this entire thing as Gita Amritam Rasamalayam. So Gita, as we all know, is the song, and this Bhagavad Gita is a song of Lord Himself. So the song of God is heard directly by his dear devotee and friend Arjuna when he is in deep distress. Can somebody be in more distress than Arjuna because he was in the battlefield? We all have different points of distress in our life, and we feel that our distress is incomparable to anyone else, isn't it? But here we find that Arjuna was in very, very great distress in the battlefield. Typically we hear when I ask some people, can you join for the study? They'll say, I would love to do that. But you know what? I am busy with something else. So whatever that something else is stopping us from hearing Bhagavad Gita, that is what we need to remove from our journey of learning Bhagavad Gita. Because here Arjuna was in deep distress, and he didn't go to hear Hollywood, Bollywood, or Tollywood, Collywood songs. He heard directly the song of from the Lord Himself. That's why this is basically called Amrit. Anything that comes from the lotus mouth of the Lord is Amrit, nectar. And Rasamalayam, because this is basically a juice. Nectar, as you can see, a nectar pot has come there, and the Lord is sharing this nectar through Arjuna. Arjuna is his direct student, you can say, and Arjuna is also our representative. We are in that situation, so Arjuna takes our position, and he actually wants to taste that nectar because he knows that by tasting that nectar, his life is going to transform and he can take the right decision in the battlefield. So the nectar of life is given by the Lord Himself and the Amritam, and it is tasting like a juice, and that juice is coming from Arjuna. to the entire mankind. So as you can see from the slide here, that's our typical journey of life. And the journey of life, right from birth, we grow, into a small child, then we become youth. From youth, we become man. Then we, just like any other species, we also reproduce. We stay for some time, then we dwindle, and finally we die. So in this entire journey, we how do we lead life? So basically, the art of living is taught by Bhagavad Gita, and not only that, something beyond that. So you can see that when a person dies, what happens to him at the time of death? What happens to him after he dies? So all that is covered in this nectar. That's why it is not only art of living, but it also demonstrates art of dying. So it is very, very, unique, transcendental literature, and there is no comparison of any other literature that can come and match this level of transcendence, because the Lord directly speaks it. So this is what the journey we are going to embark upon, and we are going to learn the art of living and the art of dying. And in the process, we will try to understand, all of you would be quite curious to know, or quite inquisitive to know what is going to be the unique thing we are going to bring on the table. What is the uniqueness of this systematic study? So the first and foremost thing is that we are all going to study this in a group. I'm repeatedly using the word studying and not learning or hearing. Studying has got deep meaning. You hear, you do smarnam, and you try to internalize that, and then you try to reproduce it practically. That is studying. All that comes under studying. And Bhagavad Gita includes it has totally 700 verses. So we'll go at a steady pace, a slow pace, so that we understand. We don't want to run like reading a novel, Mills and Boone or whatever, James Hadley Chase, whatever, it's not like that. Just we read something, oh, this is a nice action, this is a nice fiction, and then after that, what? No. Here, when we go and understand each and every verse, the window of understanding will expand. The Lord will give us more and more understanding. Krishna himself will come and manifest in the Paramatma. He's already there, but now he's covered with all the dust and dirt. So the moment we open this book and we start reading it, we will see that the window knowledge will open completely. And as I said, we all, should be in a learning mood and not in a mood to compete with each other. We are not in any race. We want to perfect our human life, and whatever position, whatever profession, whatever status we are in, we want to do that perfectly. And we look forward to the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita. So that's why we have to be completely in a learning mood. And we will gain some knowledge, and overall we can improve as a person. This knowledge is a very, very important part, as it is called jnana in Sanskrit. And when we start applying it, that is, my Guru Maharaj used to say, it's called spiritual technology. Application of the knowledge is Vigyan. And then only the effect will come. See, medicine can be just shown as a medicine. It has got this property, that property, it will cure this. But unless you take it, you cannot get cured from the disease. So similarly, the knowledge is there in the book. That's the theory part. Now, practically, we have to internalize that, and we have to see circumstances, situations that we come across in life, and we try to draw parallel. In this situation, what did Krishna say? Is there any reference in Bhagavad Gita for this situation? How did Arjuna deal with the situation? In fact, talking of Arjuna and Krishna, you'll be astonished that out of the 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita, something like 584 verses are spoken by Krishna. Out of 700, 584. That means even though it's a dialogue between the two, 584 is direct instruction. And approximately 42 or something are the prashna or queries of Arjuna. Okay, and then sorry, around 84, not 44, around 84, and then around approximately 42 are of Sanjaya. So Sanjaya has got the Divya Drishya, Chakshusha. So he can, through the Divya Chakshu, he can see, he's blessed what is happening there in the battlefield, and he narrates everything to Dhritarashtra, who is blind. And only one verse in the entire 70 is spoken by one person. And I'm sure all of you must have guessed who is that. That is Dhritarashtra himself. So the first verse of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, starts with Dhritarashtra Uvacha. Okay, so, and after that he never speaks. After that he is only hearing from Sanjay, and then Sanjay is seeing what's happening in the battlefield. It is Arjuna who is hearing continuously. He puts one or two questions, and then he gets very good answer from Krishna. 1 second. Yeah. So we gain knowledge, and knowledge is the basis, fundamental for everything. Today, if a person has got knowledge, he is highly respected, even in any material circle. Is it not? I'm remembering one story. It's not a story, it's just you can say some sort of a joke. There was one person who was very rich, and but he did not have knowledge, but he was very rich. He once went to electronics shop, and he wanted to buy a refrigerator. So he went and told that owner of the shop, मुझे रेफ्रिजरेटर खरीदना है, कितने का है? So the vendor, I mean the owner, he said, मुझे आपको ये नहीं बेचना है, ये आपके लिए नहीं है. So this person felt insulted. He thought that maybe this vendor thinks that I'm not rich enough to buy this refrigerator. That's why he's saying ये आपके लिए नहीं है, आप इसे नहीं खरीद सकते. So he was a bit annoyed. But again he came back after 2 or 3 days, and he asked the same question. मुझे ये रेफ्रिजरेटर खरीदना है. And the shopkeeper had the same answer. He did not understand. मैंने आपसे कहा मुझे आपको ये नहीं बेचना है, ये रेफ्रिजरेटर नहीं बेचना है. Then this annoyed this person. So now he decided that he will come in a disguise. He will come in a disguise, and somehow or the other he will buy this refrigerator because he has got the money. So he came in a disguise and he said, मुझे refrigerator खरीदना है. After a few days, again he got the same answer from the shopkeeper, मुझे ये आपको नहीं बेचना है. Then he was very, very angry, and the next time he came as a Muslim woman with complete burqa covered. So now he was sure that this person will not recognize me under any circumstances, and I can buy this refrigerator, period. And he goes and he says, I want to buy this refrigerator, and the shopkeeper again gives the same answer. I don't want to sell this to you. You cannot buy this refrigerator. So he comes fifth time and he says, I have not come to buy this now, but I have come to ask you, I have the money to buy. Why are you not selling this refrigerator to me? So the shopkeeper replies, I am not selling this to you because this is not a refrigerator, it's a washing machine. You do not have the knowledge of this product, and you are constantly coming and disturbing by saying this is a refrigerator. It's not a refrigerator. So he says, oh, okay, fine. But why? What is the problem? Why you cannot sell it to me? He says, when you cannot identify or distinguish between the refrigerator and the washing machine, God bless. What are you going to do when you take this home? You will use it like a you'll use the washing machine like a refrigerator, and that will be a disaster. My name will be spoiled. So get lost. I don't want to sell it to you. So this is exactly the situation. The lack of knowledge, you tend to misunderstand. So there are many people who say that Bhagavad Gita, oh, उसके लिए तो बहुत time है. Let me spend my time now with my family, my profession, my career, my studies, everything. Later on, when I'm retired, I'll see. तो वो दिन कभी नहीं आएगा, because when that day comes, you will not have the right kind of senses to understand and appreciate. This is not just a novel to get away. This is a spiritual knowledge. So we have to be properly situated to understand this. Then only it works. Otherwise, it will not work. So we are going to make, through all these slide presentations and very interactive, you know, we are going to keep some time for question answers based on what we learn every session. And also we'll try to explain the practical aspects of everything and how is it relevant to the present times. That's very important. The connection, the connectivity. I'm learning something. What is the benefit? How does it help me? That is very important. So we will stress on that. So that will be the uniqueness of this systematic study. And of course, the basis is going to be Srila Prabhupada's purports, which are made so nicely, easily understandable, easily digestible. I mean, he's already chewed it for us, and we have to just taste it now. So, ready-made product. As a group, we'll try to achieve our goal. And what is our goal? Can somebody raise the hand and say what is our goal? Let us begin with some interaction from the group. Can somebody say what is our goal? Yes, Anusha, you have raised your hand.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I think our goal is to attain Krishna Prema and go back home, go back to Godhead in this lifetime itself with the mercy of Hari Guru Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna.
Yes, you said it. More than going back to Godhead, achieve Krishna Prem. And Krishna Prem, see, a child can love a father or a mother only when the child realizes what sacrifices the mother or father has done for the child. Is it not? Otherwise, it's like, a mundane upbringing. The child says that you are supposed to put me to school, you have put me to school, that's your duty. You are supposed to give me the proper education, shelter, food. You have done that, like it's your duty, parental duty. So what is that you have done extra for me? So it will be having a relation, but not a attachment as the child grows. Whereas if the child is completely, shown the way with love, then the child will also learn how to reciprocate with love. No, here Krishna is trying his level best to give us a knowledge one way or the other, and he's trying his best to bring us back to him. It is up to us now to catch the rope and go back to him. And when we know how much sacrifice Krishna has done for us through by sending his representatives and what sacrifices they have done for us, that will increase our love for Krishna. So learning philosophy is one thing, but it is beyond philosophy that we should look for. How to love him. He is the Supreme Father and he is our eternal Father. There is nobody who can be eternal. So that is what is our goal and we should strive for that. And we will try to give 15 minutes question answer session after each session. Okay. And so that will, the advantage, when you're studying in a group, one person's question will answer for somebody else also. Like maybe there are somebody else having similar question, but then they get benefit when somebody else is asking the question. So that will be our modus operandi. 7 p.m. start. We'll try to start on time and we'll try to end on time also. If possible, if not, at least 5 minutes maximum extra time, not beyond that, because we respect everybody's time. We'll have taken time to sacrifice something and they have come here. So we have other duties to perform also. So this 1 hour, we will keep completely focused in what we are studying here. So 700 verses we'll try to cover in approximately 75 sessions because we cannot cram it. So we'll try to do about at a steady pace of 10 verses per session. That would take us around 70. But then there are 2 sessions for introduction. That is before chapter 1. And introduction is quite elaborate. Srila Prabhupada has spent 30 pages in the Bhagavad Gita book only for introduction. So there is something in introduction that we need to explore and understand. So we'll try to spend 2 sessions for introduction. So going by that, 75 sessions would mean approximately 18 months. So I'm so thrilled that we are all going to be in this journey for 18 months at least. And we are all trying to grow in 18 months as a family. Okay. And this boat of Bhagavad Gita, where we hold the dhoti of Srila Prabhupada, where Prabhupada will take us to Krishna, and we will all achieve the same benefit. So the expected outcomes, obviously, participants will be able to explore the diverse realms of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is really unity in diversity. All sorts of situations, all permutations, combinations, problems. Our problem is nothing. If you see what problems Arjuna has undergone, and one problem leads to another problem, what sort of enemy strategies they were making. So all that, will help us to become a better person. So we will become better holistically. Holistically means we will externally as well as internally, completely. That means our body, which we are, brain, senses, and everything. But our internal thing, mind, intelligence, they'll also become sharp. That is holistic development. And we'll build a strong, joyful character, which will help us in every sphere of life. We'll apply the insights and wisdom from Bhagavad Gita to contemporary challenges in day-to-day lives. So we will try to apply them in practical way, application. That's very, very important. Unless we apply it, it's not complete. Then we'll promote the understanding of love and devotion towards Lord Krishna by understanding the mood of a listener, Arjuna. Okay, so we have to try to absorb the mood of Arjuna, and we should try to imbibe that mood. Then we'll be able to cultivate deeper appreciation for Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise it will be a dry philosophy. हाँ, ये समझ में आ गया, लेकिन ये थोड़ा सा ऐसा है, ये तो 5,000 साल पुराना है. All those kind of negative thoughts will come, or a thought will come that I know everything. So we should know that we know nothing. That is called humility. So we'll develop that mood of humility. We develop courage, fearlessness, and perseverance, and we will also improve in our decision-making skills. So these are some of the important things which we are expected to benefit. It's a good quote from Radheshyam Prabhu. He says, "No God, no peace." Whereas if you know God, you know peace. Simple maths, eternal release. How wonderful. He has coined it, and I just love this. So I thought, we should try to put this in our dashboard. We should try to know God, then we'll always be at peace. That is KNOW. Some eminent personalities are speaking. Our Albert Einstein, he says, when I read Bhagavad Gita and reflect upon how God created this universe, everything else seems so superfluous. See, Albert Einstein, the theory of relativity, he is saying this, that everything else seems superfluous when I read Bhagavad Gita. Mahatma Gandhi says, when doubts haunt me, when disappointments stare in my face, and I see no ray of hope on the horizon, I turn to Bhagavad Gita and find a verse to comfort me. And I immediately begin to smile in the midst of overwhelming sorrow. Those who meditate on Gita will derive fresh joy and new meanings from it every day. I love the last line, because I'm sure practically each one of us has experienced this. When you read Bhagavad Gita again and again and again, new meanings will throw up. That means new understandings are coming, the window of understanding is opening. And that is the beauty of this literature. It is not stagnant. So you should go on reading it. That means your self-realization is, you're achieving that. So what is so special about this book? Again, the main thing is that it is touching our hearts. This book touches our heart, and even though it is 5,000 years old, 5,000 years old, it is touching our heart, because it is a wisdom that is still breathing. The wisdom is not a dead wisdom. हाँ, ये पुराना है, not relevant for the present times. No, it's a timeless wonder. It is timeless. It is completely breathing all the time. In fact, some acharyas say that this is actually the book. This book Bhagavad Gita is directly the Lord Himself, because it is coming out from His lotus lips. So it's a transcendental sound. So it is a wisdom. And therefore, you can see that even though, see, Kali Yuga's lifespan is 4,32,000 years, out of which only 5,000 years is over. We are in the initial part of Kali Yuga. So 5,000 years back, it was Dwapar Yuga. And at that time, Bhagavad Gita was spoken. So imagine something that is 5,000 years back old, and we are still talking as if it is freshly spoken, just as recent as maybe yesterday or today. All the verses sound so fresh. So it is not, as Britishers told, it's a mythology. No, it is not myth. Myth means something that is false. It is not a mythology text. It is something that is real. It's a history. It's a Hitias. So the Lord came himself for the benefit of mankind, and he spoke this to us. So that is a special. So we will get the proper understanding if we develop mood like Arjuna. The two qualities that Arjuna had was he was inquiring very submissively, and also he was rendering service to the Lord. So in Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter it is mentioned, 34th verse, Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadyakshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshanaha. So this means that you will get the knowledge will be transferred to you. This is basically a transcendental knowledge. It will be transferred if you develop the habit of inquiring very submissively and rendering service to the Lord. And the self-realized soul, that is, people who are self-realized, they can impart unto you this knowledge because they have seen the truth. So this is coming in a disciplic succession. Therefore, there are self-realized people who have got it from their previous acharyas, and that is how we get knowledge. And then we also see that there is another important verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. Atha pumbir dvija shrestha varna shrama vibhagashaha swanististasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. So we have a group called Samsiddhir Haritoshanam, and that group is formed from this verse because whatever we do, in whatever situation we are, Varnashrama, whatever Varna or whatever Ashrama, Vibhagasha, these various divisions, Sarustisthaya Dharmasya, our job is only to Samsiddhir Hari Toshanam, that is to please the Lord. So if you can please the Lord, then it will be good. I think somebody has tried to make some mark here. Maybe you can dissuade from doing that. Some red mark I'm seeing here on the screen. So maybe it's a mistake by someone, but please avoid that. Okay. 1 second. Okay, now we come to the important point. What are the benefits of studying Bhagavad Gita? So, as I had already mentioned this in my earlier flyer, I am reiterating that there are so many benefits, out of which few are listed here. It's important thing to have a right attitude. Right attitude is very, very important. Somebody may have good aptitude, but aptitude alone will not take you to the altitude. Okay, if you have the right attitude with an aptitude, that will take you to the topmost altitude. Our goal is to go to the climb as much as possible altitude in whichever field we are in. If we are if we are a student, then we should definitely excel in that. If we are professionals, we should excel in that. If we are householders, we should do a fantastic job in that. In any field that we are in, we should try to excel. That is altitude. And the important aspect for that is to have a right attitude. And Bhagavad Gita teaches us the right attitude. Then the second point, teach your children dharma before someone else teaches them adharma. This point is so profound, and this is actually, we are seeing it in the today's practical life. Let me see if I can pull out that. Somehow it is not getting active here. 1 minute. Let me see. No, I'm not able to see. Pull it out. But maybe at the end of this presentation, if I have that separate slide, I made a hyperlink, but it doesn't seem to click on the sharing option. I don't know. So I'll show that slide. What is the importance of that slide? And reading Bhagavad Gita helps us to cope with any pressure cooker situation. We are all in pressure cooker situation. We are all stressful. The circumstances are making us like that. The situations will not change, but how we cope up. If we read Bhagavad Gita, it is teaching how to cope a situation. If we don't have knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then maybe we'll use our own intelligence to cope. And that can sometimes be a disaster. And that's why we can get into some trouble. So we can deal better in all types of management situations, whether it is time management, we all need to be good in time management, anger management, conflict management, disaster management, people management, leadership management, and our communication skills. Everything is taught in Bhagavad Gita, everything. So as we move on from chapter 1 to chapter 18, you will see the beauty. So it is not one of those religious texts that you have to read, invest upon after retirement. If anybody thought that way, it is a serious mistake. It is the manual of your life. If I buy a product, if I should know how to use the product in a most optimum way, I have to refer to the manufacturer's manual. He would have given the do's and the don'ts. So Bhagavad Gita has given us the entire do's and don'ts of life. If we properly understand that, then we are perfecting our human life. And also, it improves our cognitive skills and memory. By simply memorizing the verses, our memory stays intact and our cognitive skills are very sharp. We become very sharp, alert. So if you have all this, then our demeanor is very, very positive. We become very confident and we have a fearless outlook. When the world sees such a person, they respect in awe. They see that this person has got so many qualities. How did he get all that? But the secret could be Bhagavad Gita. So it basically brings about the complete transformation, self-transformation. Ultimately, we all have to be transformed. How to think different from the world views. The world, कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का कहना काम है. We say that, no? So how do you view that in relation to Bhagavad Gita? How to think differently? That is what we understand. That is self-transformation. How to become the best version of yourself. It is like an infinity. It's work in progress. But you keep on working based on the teachings and you become the best version of yourself. If not in this life, at least whatever you have become, you start from that point in the next life. And how not to deny or delay this great opportunity of learning Bhagavad Gita or making a spiritual advancement or progress by giving lame excuses. So we stop giving lame excuses, So that is the important thing while understanding self-transformation. Because this knowledge of information, it comes in as information, and then what it does is it gradually leads to purification. From information, it leads to purification. And once we are purified, that's where the transformation comes. Because many times people say, oh, many years back you were like this. Now you are such a changed person. And, the anger is no more there. You are very much different. So what is that? Information came, you internalize that, purification happened, and then the transformation occurred. And once the transformation happens, automatically there is a protection from the Lord. The Lord, Krishna, he'll see that you're putting in efforts. So now it's his job to protect you. We have surrendered ourselves to him. So it's onus upon him to protect us. So information, then purification, transformation, now protection. He'll protect us. And once this protection comes, then automatically what happens is, periodically we get correction. It's revealed to us, don't do this, do that, or we start understanding from a more realized person. We adapt ourselves in that situation. That is correction. And once we do all that, we are completely satisfaction. So imagine information, purification, transformation, and after transformation, what we have is protection, then correction, and then satisfaction. So that is basically coming to a situation. Once we come to that situation of satisfaction, that's when conviction comes. And this conviction is something that now I will not leave Krishna, come what may. Even if I fall in the ditch, let Krishna put me in any situation, I will not leave him. He is testing me. So that is where you are above the three modes of material nature. That is conviction. Okay. So that is our goal, dear devotees. And hopefully, by the end of this 18 months studies, who is doing this? Somebody is putting some lines on the screen. Please don't do that. I think is somebody's screen active on the because somebody is by mistake, maybe the nail is putting or the finger. I'm seeing some lines on the screen. Okay, so Bhagavad Gita knowledge can then transformation is taking you from stressful to the blissful. So from negative thoughts you become positive. You can see there's a lot of peer pressure. Then as a student you have pressure. In the corporate life you have pressure. Then you have all this pressure situation makes you angry, frustrated, and then you want to the suicidal thoughts come sometimes in such people. They want to jump from the top, thinking that there's a dead end of the road. I've got no way to go, and then actually when you get knowledge, you get the complete confidence. This is conviction and satisfaction, and from this, when you have more advanced further, you become blissful. So that is what Bhagavad Gita is taking us to. And we as human beings, we are empowered to be inquisitive. We are inquisitive by nature. Our scriptures say the first aphorism of Vedanta Sutra is Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Now one should inquire about Brahman. This is the first aphorism. So inquisitiveness is a basic quality. We should ask ourselves, are we the robot? Are we just, a person for doing 9 to 5 job? Who am I? We should ask this basic question. Who am I? Who is God? What is my connection with Him? What is the purpose of this world? And what is the purpose of my life? These are the basic fundamental questions that we should ask, and we should seek answers for this. And the answers are provided in Bhagavad Gita for these fundamental questions. Okay. And of course, the knowledge comes from Vedas. Vedas are the words of God. It is revealed to Lord Brahma at the time of creation. So Vedas are the original manual of this entire universe. For instance, Vedas, there are some statements which are so profound and they are perfect. It is already mentioned in Vedas that cow dung is pure, and yet nobody wants to people who don't believe that, they feel that it is just like any other excreta of animal. No, but cow dung is pure, and now the experimental evidence proves antiseptic qualities of cow dung. Last week somebody sent me a video in Arab country. They are now importing tons and tons of cow dung from India. Astonishing. And this cow dung, they found that in the desert, where even rain does not help in cultivation, by just putting cow dung in some barren land, they are seeing that there is a lot of cultivation now happening. Wonderful. So cow dung is already predicted in the Vedic say that it's very pure. Similarly, there are Vedic predictions of Buddha, Chanakya, Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, Chandragupta, Ashoka, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, etc. All these are predicted, and one by one, they are coming. So these are the predictions of Vedic. So their Vedas are basically emanations from the breathing of Lord, as per this Shruti of Madhya Dina. So Vedas are the emanations of the Lord, breathing of the Lord. So one Veda then has been divided into 4: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Samveda, Atharva Veda. So these are divided so that it can be easily understood. And each Veda consists of Samhitas, which are sacred texts in verse form. Then there are, please mute yourself. Somebody is on unmute. Please mute. Okay, thank you. And then there are Brahmanas. Brahmanas are commentary in prose form. Aranyakas are the forest treaties. So these are also beautifully there in Vedas. And then there are 4 Vedas, 108 Upanishads, 18 Puranas. Then there is story, Itihas, in the form of story, Mahabharata and Ramayana. These are actual things which are compiled by Vedavyas and Vedanta Sutra. So this Mahabharata is the history of the great India called Bharat. And therefore it is also classified as the 5th Veda. It is also classified as the 5th Veda because there are Vedic conclusions in the story form, and very, very easy to understand. And from this Mahabharat, a small portion of episode that happened in the battlefield, where the Mahabharata is so vast, in that there is a portion in the battlefield that has happened where Lord Krishna speaks Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata. So Bhagavad Gita is considered to be the essence of all Vedic scriptures. Okay, it's an essence. Krishna says in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which we will read after some time, in the 15th chapter he says, Vedesha sarve aham eva vedyo, Vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. What does it mean? He says, by all the Vedas, I am to be known. Krishna says, by all the Vedas, I am to be known. And indeed, I am the compiler of the Veda. So that means Vyasadeva is the incarnation of the Lord, because he is compiling it. So here Krishna says, I am the compiler of Vedas. It means Vyasadeva. He has come in the form of Vyasadeva to compile. And I am the knower of Vedas. So that means the purpose of Vedas is to understand Krishna only. This is the highest understanding. This is what he says in Bhagavad Gita. Mr. Roy, can you please mute yourself? Thank you. So Bhagavad Gita is therefore the essence of all Vedic literatures. And Shankaracharya has very nicely explained this in the Gita Mahatmya, verse 6. He says, Sarvo Upanishado Gavo. That means all Upanishads are like cow. If you take all the Upanishads, they are like one cow. Okay? Dogda Gopala Nandanaha. So Dogda, that is... can you kindly mute, please? Wait, I'll only mute. Some sound coming. Mr. Supratik De, can you kindly mute yourself? There is some sound disturbance coming from the mic. Thank you. So, Sarva Upanishado Gavo Dogda Gopala Nandana. So, all Upanishads are like cow, and the milker of the cow is Lord Krishna, Dogda Gopala Nandana, the son of Nandana. Partho Vatsaha Sudhir Bhokta, and the Partho Vatsa, that is Arjuna, is the calf. Arjuna is like the calf. And the Dugdam, Gita Amritam Mahat, the beautiful nectar of Gita is the milk. And Arjuna and all the devotees are basically drinkers and enjoyer of this milk. So wonderfully put by Shankaracharya in Gita Mahatmya. And the next verse, verse 7, he says, Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam. There need to be only one holy scripture. Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva. That means the divine Gita sung by Lord Krishna. Eko Devi Devaki Putra Eva. Eko Mantra Stasya Namani. Yani, that means Ek Mantra. Which is that mantra? Lord Krishna's name, holy name. Karmyapi Ekam Tasya Devasya Seva. And the only duty is a devotional service unto that supreme personality of God, that is Lord Krishna. This is Shankaracharya saying in Gita Mahatmya. So we therefore understand that Bhagavad Gita is the most important text for us. It is supreme literature. It is the essence of all Vedic literature, and therefore it is a Sanskrit treatise, and the translation is going to be very, very important. There are more than 500 editions of Bhagavad Gita. So sometimes it can be confusing. Somebody will say that I have read Bhagavad Gita. Somebody will say, yes, I have also seen Bhagavad Gita. But we don't know which Bhagavad Gita they have read and what extent, what depth they have read. Whether the writer of that Bhagavad Gita is renowned spiritually, apart from being scholarly. So these are the considerations. Interpretation can vary from one edition to another edition. So therefore, the common understanding is that these are the requirements to be a proper translation. That means from Sanskrit, you should have the knowledge of Sanskrit, you should have the knowledge of English. Okay? Because if you have to translate, now here they are given an example. If Windows XP, of course Windows XP is not there now, this is an old slide. Windows XP Professional, if this has to be translated into Spanish language, so there has to be a knowledge of English, there has to be a knowledge of Spanish, and there has to be a knowledge of the subject matter, that is computer science. Otherwise, you cannot understand some of the technical jargons. You cannot. So similarly, if you have to translate Bhagavad Gita from Sanskrit to English, you have to have the knowledge of Sanskrit, you have to have knowledge of English. That is not enough. This is just a scholarly review, but you should have the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. Now, this is basically the important point. So, somebody who has got all the three, he is the real devotee, because one has to have a devotional background to understand the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. So, therefore, it is said that this subject matter of Bhagavad Gita has to be transmitted. This is a knowledge top-down process. It is transmitted knowledge from uh, higher ups to the lower. That means from guru to disciple. It is not a knowledge that is acquired from just reading something. No, like our bookish knowledge, our academic knowledge can be acquired like that. But still, there also we need to go to college. We need to have a guide if you have to do PhD. You cannot be your guide also. You cannot be your PhD student also. No, nobody will respect you. If somebody says that I'm an engineer, all right, from where you have studied, I did my education at home. Nobody will care. That is, if you say that I've studied in IIT or BITS Pilani or MIT and all that big institutes, then you will be respected. So similarly, the knowledge Bhagavad Gita should be understood from a bona fide guru, and it has to come in a disciplic succession. Then it is authentic. Otherwise, there will be dilution, there will be deviation, and there will be complete confusion. Okay, so I'll give a simple example. Now, this word Atma, generally understood as soul, correct? But in the Bhagavad Gita, even though Atma means soul, in different contexts of the various verses across in 700 verses, in some places Bhagavad Gita refers to Paramatma also. In some place it refers to the mind also. In some places it refers to buddhi. In some places it refers to senses. In some places deha, body. So how do I decipher and interpret what actually Krishna is meaning? So this has to come through the right person who is self-realized. That's why, it is said that Evam Parampara Praptam. Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter says this. Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarsayo Vidu Sakalineya Mahata Yogo Nastha Parantapaha. The supreme science was thus received through the Lord Krishna is telling to Arjuna. This supreme science was thus received through chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is, it appears to be lost. So Krishna has spoken Bhagavad Gita several times. It is not that he has spoken to Arjuna and that is the first and the final time. No. He has spoken to the sun god Vivaswan first time. Vivaswan spoke to his son Ikshvaku. Ikshvaku spoke to Manu. Huh? Manu spoke to his son. So that way it goes in a disciplic succession, and then somewhere it is down the line, it is broken. So therefore, Krishna appeared again to re-establish this principle of Bhagavad Gita as Parampara Jnana. This is a Jnana Parampara. So this, therefore, he once again started a new lineage from Arjuna. And that's why Evam Parampara Prapta is very important. And Srila Prabhupada highlights this point very much on page 30 of the introduction. After this, chapter 1 starts, where he says that Evam Parampara Prapta means this knowledge comes in disciplic succession. Krishna to Brahma, Brahma to Narada, Narada to Vyas Madhav. So like that, if you go on the 32nd number, you see Abhay Charna Ravinda, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So therefore, this knowledge is very, very important. Prabhupada has not got this knowledge from somewhere. He has got it from Bhakti Siddhanta Swami. Bhakti Siddhanta Swami has got from Gaura Kishore Baba. Gaura Kishore Babaji has got from Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And kindly mute yourself. Somebody is on unmute. And this Bhakti Vinod Thakur has got from Jagannath Babaji. Jagannath Babaji, then you can see the process. Krishna's Kaviraj and Rupa Goswami and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was Lord himself, who came again in the hidden avatar, Gupta avatar, 500 years back. So therefore, parampara is very, very important. If somebody says, I have learned Bhagavad Gita, the first question to ask himself or herself is, have I learned this from a parampara, or have I learned it from somebody? I don't want to defame anyone, but one of our ex presidents also wrote Bhagavad Gita. Okay, but that was a scholarly Bhagavad Gita. It was not having a devotional content in Bhagavad Gita. So it doesn't come in parampara. I just, this is what I know in Sanskrit, so if I translate, it becomes like this. No, I can make a mistake. So the advantage of parampara is that the ripened fruit of Bhagavad Gita is coming from one branch to another branch, from another branch to another branch, and it is handed over to you in a platter without a crack, without the pulp is coming as it is. So when you take the pulp, you experience the nectar of the juice. That is the benefit of coming in parampara. Okay. So this knowledge has come. Therefore, it is called as it is knowledge. Bhagavad Gita as it is. So I would request whoever does not have a Bhagavad Gita book to read, please buy this Bhagavad Gita as it is. It is by Swami Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. You can see here. So Bhagavad Gita as it is gives complete knowledge as it is meant by Lord Krishna and as the knowledge was understood by Arjuna. There is no third way to understand it or no second way to understand. Our job is to understand Bhagavad Gita exactly the same way as Arjuna understood it. Then our life is perfect. We cannot argue and say that, oh, Arjuna must have been in that situation, therefore he interpreted that way. My situation is different, so let me interpret this way. No, then we are deviating. We have to just take this ready-made gyan and understand it ourselves through the way Arjuna understood it. So that is why it's a dialogue between two personalities. And we have to understand one is the master, one is a servant. And we are the servant of that servant. So the knowledge of Krishna as understood by Arjuna should be understood in the same way by us. And this knowledge is basically the 5 subject matters that this glorious book is dealing in. That is, it is giving you the knowledge of who is God, Ishvara. Who are we? We are Jiva. So the knowledge of Jiva. What is the relation with Ishvara? What is this Prakriti? We are in the Prakriti, material nature. What is the influence of Prakriti upon us? How do we get influenced by the gunas, the modes of nature? And all this is happening in the presence of eternal time. There is a Kala. Because of the Kala, we say that, there is a past, there is a present, there is a future. If there is no Kal, we would not have said the past. Now we remember our childhood because of the past Kal. We remember the present. And we know what's going to happen in the future because we see that, from young age we grow old. From old there comes the, dwindling stage. From dwindling we perish. So that is basically the role of Kala. Kala is keeping a record of everything. And then there is a karma, the 5th part. 5th is karma. Karma is our activity. So this karma is done by the jiva. The jiva is coming with some karma from his previous life and is experiencing the karma situations, and the karma can be sinful, he gets fruitive action. The karma can be positive and he gets positive results. Accordingly, so all that is happening. It's wonderful the way it is set up. This whole, like a scene. Like, you're going to a play and then you tell there's some director, the director saying, you act like this, you act like this, and you fall down like this, and you kill this person. So everything is so nicely managed that without our knowledge, this is happening. That's the beauty of this whole literature. So these 5 subject matters, if we understand it thoroughly, then our life will be perfect. Okay. And to explain this in the form of, way that we are going to explain, both of us have taken the responsibility. That is myself, I am C.R. Sheshadri, and my spiritual name is Shyam Chandra Das. And then my co-colleague, co-speaker is going to be Sakshi Mohandas, and his legal name is Shyam Sundar Rao. Okay, I'll briefly say a few words about myself, and then I will request Shyam Sundar Rao to please, talk about himself, because we are now in the concluding slides. Only one more slide is there, and we'll be concluding within another 5 minutes. So I am basically a professional who's basically spent years, more than 3.5 decades in sales marketing of analytical instruments. And by qualification, I have a master's in analytical chemistry from Institute of Science. And I also have a management degree from Bombay University, Master of Marketing Management. And I've been through several multinational companies like Agilent Technologies, Thermo Fisher Scientific, Metal Power. My last assignment for a decade was as a global president for sales marketing for Metal Power. And of course, my spiritual aspect has been growing from 1996, 97 onwards. And I've always tried to amalgamate my spiritual dimension with my professional dimension. And also my personal front. In the personal front, Veena or Sundri is my wife, and I've got two sons, Arvind and Arjun. Arvind is called Amarendra Das in the spiritually, and also Arjun is called Arjun Saka. So both are now living in the US. That's briefly about me. And I've done a Bhakti Shastri in 2011. That's a degree that teaches you about Bhagavad Gita and the first canto of Bhagavatam and also a few other texts. And now I am a student of Bhakti Vaibhav, the first 6 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. And I will do my best in a most humble way to serve all of you. I'll never take the position that if I know something, I'll try to learn from all of you. And then this journey will be together. And I promise that we'll try to make it as interesting as possible. I'll request Sakshi Mohan Das, Shyam Sundar Prabhu, to say a few words about himself, introduce himself to the speakers, because the way we'll do it is we are going to speak on alternate Saturdays. Sakshi Mohan Prabhu, I know him for a few years now. He's a very accomplished and knowledgeable speaker in Bhagavad Gita himself. And he's very excited to be, doing Jugalbandi with me on alternate weeks. And I'm very happy that he kindly agreed readily to this particular session. So over to Sakshi Mohan Prabhu, and you can say a few words about yourself now.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, good evening, namaskar. Just to say a few words about myself, I'm an engineer with management qualification. I have worked in 3 good brands of the country. Wipro, I started with my career with, then I moved to SKF Bearings, and then I worked with Castrol India for the last 30 years. I retired last month. I have a great interest in studying Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is my passion. And it was a great opportunity that came my way when my dear friend Shyam Chandra Prabhu said, why don't we do this Jugalbandi and share our knowledge? And I have deep respect for Shyam Chandra Prabhuji. He not only speaks about Gita, he also lives Gita in his life. He and his family are a beacon for all of us to learn and get inspiration from. What is that attracted me to Gita? It's not that, you have to stop living. You have to, retire from your job, go to a forest to become a renowned Gita Pandit. No. Gita, as Prabhuji said, is all about art of living. So I found it very interesting. And what did I understand this? If I were to express in my own words, it says, from your place, at your pace, join the race to obtain Lord's grace, to ace the life's race. That's how I felt these are the words most apt to describe what Gita can bring to each one of us in our life. There is no pressure. It is just joyous learning to be aware of yourself. With that, of course, we will share whatever little knowledge we have as we go forward. And with that, I end my brief introduction. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Shyam Sundar Raoji. And so nicely you said that a statement. I'm remembering of one from my side also. That is, page by page, become a sage before you age to come out of this cage. So this cage is this material world, and Durg planet, as we said, Durga is the warden, and this whole thing is Durga. So to come out of this cage, you have to become a sage, and for that you have to, before you become age, you have to do page by page studies. So with that, we more or less conclude, and then before that, I just have one more slide, I think. Yeah, this is the next 3 sessions in June, 14th June and 21st June. So we'll be doing the introduction to Bhagavad Gita in 2 sessions. As I said, Srila Prabhupada spent 30 pages only on introduction before he went to chapter 1. So we'll spend 2 sessions at least for that. And from 28th June, we'll begin chapter 1 onwards. Okay. So next week, that is 14th June, I will do the introduction part 1. And 21st June, Shyam Sundar Prabhuji will do introduction part 2. And then 28th June onwards, we will do alternate. 1 week I'll do, 1 week he will do. And that way, we hope that in 18 months' time, this jnana is completely, acquired by us, and it leads to a transformation. And from transformation, we get conviction. So before I end, I just want to put up this. I've been requested by this Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan to give a talk on leadership lessons from Ramayana. So I'll be speaking on 12th June. This will be an online session, and I'll be, if anybody's interested, let me know. I will try to circulate details on maybe on 10th, and this will be quite interesting as well, because a lot of professionals, they want to know what lessons we can do, how do we incorporate Ramayana theory in our professional life. So the Indian Knowledge System Cell of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan has requested me to speak on that. So that is just one point. And then I wanted to thank all of you once again for this on behalf of both of us. And until we see next time, Hare Krishna to all of you. If there are any question answer session, we will take for 5 minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
And just one more point I wanted to add before we go to the question answer session. I will try to get some guest speakers also. That means apart from both of us, maybe 1 week in a month, we'll try to get some guest speakers who are also very much knowledgeable, probably more knowledgeable also. And they will share in a different dimension, different way. Because sometimes you need different flavors to come from different people. But keeping the core things as the basis of Bhagavad Gita as it is. So this would be what we are planning. And yeah, if there's any question answer session, we would be pleased to take that now.
Hare Krishna, I'm Radha Mohan Gupta, and it is not a question, but I just wanted to say that I could join late, but it was really, really enlightening for me, and I can imagine the way the next sessions are going to be. And on a personal note, I would like to congratulate Sakshi Mohan Das, my dear good friend Shyam Sundar Rao. What a transformation. And I would love to be in next sessions. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Radha. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Any other quick comments? So there are some comments on the chat, of course. Rajesh has mentioned, thanks very much for the most lucid introductory session. Look forward to future sessions. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Rajesh. Appreciate that. And Hare Krishna. Who is Xiaomi? I couldn't follow who is Xiaomi 231. Can the person identify? Hare Krishna, Patraji. Xiaomi. I think it's not there on the video also. Fine, no issues. Okay, if there are no further questions and comments, then we'll end the session now, and we'll all meet. Thank you, Chintamani Mataji. Thank you, Aarti ji. And so we'll all meet on next Saturday. Thank you, Anjali ji. And I'm stopping the session now, and the share also. Thank you all. Thank you, Lakshmi ji. Okay.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.